Well, Chris, first of all, it's nice to catch up. What's the mood in the training ground been like after a very convincing win and a performance against Plymouth last weekend?
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's always nice, obviously, for the performance level, and then coming in on the Monday, and the place is obviously bouncing around. But I think they've been pretty consistent at that anyway, the group and the way obviously we work. We try and stay pretty level on everything. So yeah, it was nice. It's always better driving in, coming in after a good performance and 3 points.
On reflection, was anything different on Saturday compared to recent games? I'm thinking of Watford and Burnley. Because you felt you created as many chances, you were just more clinical. What was the difference on Saturday?
I think hopefully people are seeing that there's been a consistency with the performance, I think, and especially Watford were, for us really, you look at the game, they had their one shot on target from an extreme angle with a really low XG that flies in off the post, and apart from that we controlled the majority of that game, and it becomes difficult when they do go 1-0 up, then they go back into block, and then it's around how do we break that block. But in terms of our performance, I'm really happy with a lot of the stuff we've seen over the previous 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks really. I think the group are now starting to show a level of consistency in certain actions and the behaviours in certain phases, which has been pleasing. The challenge for that obviously is to sustain that and keep grinding through these winter months to allow ourselves to keep performing well, and like what we did Saturday, be a bit more ruthless in front of goal. And yeah, the group showed a real good level of patience at the weekend. Obviously it took almost an hour really for us to break down the wall, but once that did, I think you've seen a confident group.
And Anis Mehmeti, can I just get your take on him, because he scored especially one of the goals, has had a lot of views on social media across the country, but at times he's in the side, at times he's not, but when he's on form and on fire, and to be fair to him, he's been consistent this season, 6 goals now. Just how good a player could he be for Bristol City?
I guarantee you, however many views there's been, Anis has probably been a large percentage of it. But no, he's honestly working with Anis, and whether he's had good performances, not so good performances, been in and out of the team, he's an absolute pleasure to work with, and he epitomises really somebody who sacrifices his life for football. So professional behaviours, he lives, breathes it, works hard every day, does his extras, constantly talking football. He's got a pure love of the game. So credit to him, he's a beautiful human being, great to work with, and really delighted from really to get some of the input and some of the impact that he had at the weekend, because you look at him every day in training and he takes chances, he scores goals, he's creative, and then sometimes it hasn't probably translated into a Saturday or a Tuesday night performance, but he's a real threat, and delighted for him really that some of his hard work has come to fruition the other day, and he deserved it. Some of his quality was really good, some of his link-up play, but him going direct at speed is different to Anis going slower and more touches, so it's about encouraging him really around how he takes himself to the next level.
And are the goals just a bonus, or is there I mean, he's on 6 now, I think, so there's nothing to stop him from getting into double figures, I think, this season.
It'd be nice. I think the manager spoke about it before. We try and spread the goals. We know we're going to have to spread the goals around the group really, and we need everybody contributing, whether that's centre halves, wing backs, full backs, centre midfield players. We're going to need everybody to chip in this year. So delighted that he's had that return. The challenge for him again is to keep pushing and making sure he's having that impact throughout this next couple of months, and as we go into the middle part and back end of the season. And challenge for everyone really is to step up in them key moments and score the goals that's required.
I imagine 5 o'clock on Saturday you all celebrated and enjoyed the victory. By about 5:10 you started to think about Portsmouth. How nice and how important would it be now to back it up with a similar performance at Fratton Park and make it 2 wins in a row, 3 wins in a row, or am I being greedy?
No, nothing greedy about it. I think we spoke about previously in the Championship, it's about runs, and it's about, if you're winning, how far can you extend it? And we've had obviously a good couple of runs this year where we've had a couple of wins, draw, then started winning again. And we've also had phases where we lost back-to-back games, obviously most recently. So it's about us stringing together a real positive run, and it all comes from our performance and our daily things we do in the training ground. And like I said, there'll be ups and downs throughout these winter months for sure. It's around us keeping the squad fit, healthy, keep them in the sweet spot around their motivation and some of the messaging to go and attack teams and try and be the dominant team in games, but also do what's required really in terms of who we come up against.
So you referenced the squad being fit and healthy. How is the squad looking going into the weekend? Marcus was missing last weekend. Is he fit for this weekend?
Yeah, a little back spasm with Marcus. I was winding him up because I do a lot of driving, so I was like, he's an old man already. Similar to my back, was how that feels. But yeah, a little back spasm. He's great. He's trained this week, so he's back fully fit. The rest of the group have been pretty good. Obviously, we've got boys returning now on the grass with medical sports science departments. We're getting closer in George Tanner. Cal Naismith's been outside as well, as is Ross.
Mark Sykes?
And Sykes has been outside as well. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
I was scrambling there for a second, but no, yeah. So them 4 boys have been out on the grass and progressing pretty nicely. So fingers crossed in the coming weeks we can see them returning.
And then Portsmouth, newly promoted. Fratton Park's, dare I say, possibly the noisiest ground in the Championship, and on their day they can score goals as well. So what are you expecting from Portsmouth on Saturday?
It's like every game, you just don't know. So we prepare, we do everything in terms of the tactical and everything. It's about us going there and being excited to go and play another football game. Obviously, environment, Fratton Park, been there numerous times. It can be a real energetic place if you allow them to get on top, and then on the flip side of that, if you can try and control the game, it should be an enjoyable day for us. But there'll be a well organised team. I know the manager and a couple of the staff really well. Good people, hard, organised, diligent, will have done the work on us and be doing everything they can to stop us, but 2, try and be aggressive and implement their style of play. So it's an exciting challenge for us to go there really and try and keep with the consistent performance levels and go and take the game to them.
I know from speaking to you and Liam this season, you're only thinking of Portsmouth, but at the back of your mind, how are you managing the squad? Because it's not just an away game on Tuesday, but it's Sunderland. You're then back at Ashton Gate. Is fatigue, squad management in your mind at all this week?
I think it's always at the back of your mind, but I think one thing what you've got to do is try and trust the programme a little bit in terms of how we design pre-season linking into these winter months. Is you want to try and go with your strongest team in terms of who's going to win you on that day. So listen, it might change as we go through depending on what the needs are versus the opposition, but I think what you look at really is who's in form, what the connections are like, and if we need to tweak to certain bits, we will. But I think the lads are doing a good job at the minute of looking after themselves.
And finally, in recent interviews with Liam, I've been not nagging him, but going on about the strikers scoring goals. So it's only right after he did find the back of the net on Saturday, Sinclair Armstrong. What might that do for his confidence? Because he's still a young man, and when the ball hit the back of the net, what could that do? Could it kickstart his season?
Yeah, you'd hope so. I think what people do forget with Fally and with Sinclair is how young they are and where they're at in their journeys and their professional careers. And our job is to try and develop them over these coming months and years to make sure they can go on to have a really good career and help Bristol City Football Club be successful. So yes, it will give him confidence. I think he's equalled his total for previous seasons already, so that's great in terms of where he's at on a personal journey. And it's understanding that where he's going to be a good player for the football club as is Fally. It's just going to be a timing of when we can knit it all together and get him in the team, and for him to make the impacts when he does, which he did do on Saturday. So I was delighted for him.
I notice you're having an espresso right now. I bet after the week coming up, you're going to need a double.
Yeah, no, I always do. I've got two young boys at home, and I do a lot of travelling, so I do live on double espressos. So, like you said when I come in, unfortunately, I'm no George Clooney, but I do like the espressos.
Cheers, thank you.
Chris, Liam mentioned after the game on Saturday the work you've done in particular with Sinks and Fally on the training ground. I just wondered if you could delve into a bit of what it is you're working on with him and the areas of his game you think he does need to improve.
I think it's a collective really. The staff, we've got a great group of staff who take hours upon hours on designing sessions, game plans, and obviously we all play a part in that. So I think it's really key areas what they need to be in to try and finish chances. And I think if you look at a couple of chances that we've had, they've been on certain angles, at certain pace, at certain tempo, where we're trying to have a look at technique-based stuff, but also a lot of it comes down to mindset and being cool and calm in clear moments. Without going off topic too much, you look at some of the best finishers over generations, they always seem in full control of the situation, whether they're under pressure, whether they're free on goal and they've got real time to think. It's always around taking that last breath and being cool, calm and collected in that final action. So Oh, there's a lot of things going on with a lot of the players, but them two in particular, it's been around just being stable, being calm, being balanced, and a lot of technical work.
Like we've said already, he was probably one of the calmest men in the stadium when he went through. It's probably an element of calmness we didn't see when he was first starting games after the pre-season. How far do you think he's already improved since he arrived?
Yeah, no, I think he's done really well. I think if you look at his start of the season, some of his performances were really good, and obviously scored a couple of goals. And it's been one of them things where he comes out of the team, and Naki's come in the team and showed his qualities and showed his experiences and brings a lot to the football team. So them three players really, it's a real nice triangle of competition and who can bring the best version of them to help the team win on a Saturday. And I think the manager will only ever pick the team, and will only ever look at a team who will help us win on a Saturday. So they've just got to keep pushing. And that goes for all the positions, really. I think if you look at the weekend there, where obviously Marcus misses the game, we're very fortunate to be able to put Twine in the team and make that adjustment. And the depth that we've got in various positions now, it's about the boys really trying to earn the right to play, and then the challenge is for them to keep the shirt.
I guess while they're trying to earn that right, there can't be many people better with more experience at the Championship to learn off of than Naki.
No, what I still love about him is he gets angry when he misses chances in training. And he creates this mindset and this ruthlessness with his finishing, and from all angles, both feet, he practices, and he does it every day, even now at the end of what has been a really good career, and he's still got time then to keep adding to his goals. So yeah, the boys, you can see it, he's really good, Naki, with them, talking to them, talking about various finishing, getting them doing certain practices as well and getting them involved in stuff. So yeah, we're hoping that obviously whoever plays can impact the game really well.
Obviously Sam Bell came back at the weekend. When he first broke through here, he quite often played through the middle. I just wondered how you and Liam view him. Is he just a wide player, or do you think he is someone that could play as a 9 if needed?
He's a footballer. And that's what I've spoken quite about with the players is, if you look at George Earthy coming into the team, he's played right back, right wing back, number 10. He's played a little bit when he rotates around as a 6. So Belly's just a footballer, and he's a great kid, and he's somebody who's worked tremendously hard to be back in the position he's in. And I think for us it'll be utilising his strength, which I think is pretty evident around how he can attack space and how he moves, and some of his quality on the finishing action. So yeah, I see him doing a bit of everything really.
I just wanted to go back to Anis, because we spoke to him just after the international break, and he said how he wanted to add that consistency to his game. I think, you know, he was excellent at the weekend, and he probably admit himself he wasn't quite as effective against Burnley and Watford. You know, you've played, you've coached. What do you think? How do you think he discovers that consistency, and what do you think he needs to do to find it?
Yeah, you know, I think you look at every level really. It's quite hard to be at your optimal every game. You have the unique ones like Leo Messi who can run a game and do that. But I think you've got 11 other players from the opposition there who are well coached, well drilled, well conditioned. May have different physical capabilities to you, so someone might be bigger, stronger, quicker, more agile, whatever it is. And it comes down to that problem solving in game of putting yourself in positions and testing people in various ways of where you can get success. So that is the challenge for us all really. Same as staff really, we look at the opposition and we try and go for where we can hurt them and how we can give the best information to players. It's same on an individual level for the players really. Can you test them various ways early to figure out where you can get success? And sometimes it's really tough because he's up against good players, and by the weekend I thought he did a good job at finding the right space, the right decision on the football in terms of being direct at times and getting at people. So sometimes it's team quality, sometimes it's that individual quality who you're up against. So it's difficult for attacking players because defending it's an art, and there's a lot of good defenders in the league.
I guess it's easy to forget as well, he's only 23, 24. I think, you know, he's arrived 2 years ago in January. Do you think there's a bit, people almost forget that because he's been at the football club for a while, that he's still so young in terms of his career as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think bigger picture stuff with the group really. It's a relatively young group. We've got some young players. We've got the experienced ones along it, but in Rob Dickey and Naki and a few others. But I think society in general, the whole really, we're so now, in the now, and it's so... a lot of people expect high levels of output every game and every day and everything, and that's what we strive for, but I think it's understanding the human behind obviously the performances. So yeah, he's still young, but again the expectation is on all of our group really is we have to perform, and we're here to be successful. It's it's not a school camp where we've got loads of time to develop people. We have to develop by trying to win. So that's a challenge for us all, really.
I'm sure you won't want to give too much away, but you mentioned Mark Sykes, Cal Naismith, George Tanner. I can't remember him now either.
It's not easy,
a long list, isn't it? Yeah. Will any of them be ready to feature on the weekend, or still too soon?
Yeah, probably too soon for them boys I mentioned there. But they are getting back close, which will be great for us in the coming weeks.
Just a bit long-term injury-wise. Eamon Benarous is someone I know you've been asked about before, and Adam Murphy, I know he arrived last January. I was just interested to know whereabouts they are with their recovery.
Yeah, both pretty similar really in terms of where they've been at, more longer term. Both trying to obviously get their bodies back and go. Murph's been fit and been involved in the 21s a couple of times and training and stuff, and they're more longer term still with the medical staff. And
then just at the other end of the pitch, we've spoken a lot about the attackers, but I wanted to mention Luke McNally, because I think when he arrived, there were a few fans questioning whether another defender was needed this summer, and he's really come in and not only established himself as a consistent starter, but you've got Zach playing out on the right on Saturday. Just wondered how impressed you've been with him and how much he's improved since he arrived.
Yeah, no, again, the reason we wanted him here is because we've seen his attributes and over time really, and it aligned, obviously myself and the gaff and the club aligned on that with what we've seen over the previous season. So it's always difficult when you do come to football clubs and getting adjusted, but I think he's done a terrific job. More so the last 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks where he showed a real consistent level again of performance and showed his good attributes, and adjusted to being in the team on as a partnership really with obviously with Zach originally, and then as part of as a two, then back with Rob, and then as a part of a back three. So I go back to it, we try and sign people who are footballers rather than specific stuff, so we can play multiple ways and be adaptable. So I think he's showed good strengths on that, and he's brought a good character to the group. He's a great lad. So yeah, I think he's done really well in terms of being solid, stable, and doing the basics well, which is all you can ask.
I thought I might know your answer to this already, but when you're coming into a game like Saturday, similar to last week when a team's not necessarily been at their best this season, does that come into your thinking or preparation at all? Do you pay any attention to Portsmouth's form?
What would my answer be? Go on.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, that's true. One thing you learn throughout the years, and there's no easy games. There's no games where you can go into and you know what's going to happen. But like I said, they're going to be well coached, well drilled, fighting for their lives to get points, and we'll be the same in terms of going there and scrapping and fighting to try and get the 3 points. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge. It'll be a battle, but no, I think no matter what in the Championship, you see the results every weekend. It's such a competitive league. It's I mean, we're not allowed to bet. I'm not a betting man, but whoever does bet on it, fair play, because you just can't tell every week. And again, it'll come down to us at the weekend around trying to be us and bringing ourselves and bringing our personality to the game.
Cheers, Chris.
No problem.